Hello, and welcome back to another Rise of Empires Ice and Fire video with me, Mr. Gill. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for all of your previous views, likes, comments, suggestions, subscriptions, and all of that jazz. I really appreciate it. Please click the like if you can, subscribe if you want to, and let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about class and the class your farms should be. So, obviously at the moment I am currently running a brand new account and several farms at the moment. I believe I have 7 farms. We're doing this to relearn some of the basics of the games and to think about some of the basic kind of underlying ideas about how you should play and how you should grow as quickly as you possibly can. Now, each farm can be a different class, and obviously you want the class that is going to produce the most amount of resources that you can then raid. Obviously, that means we cannot be a raider. Your farms should not be raiders. They do not have good resource production, nor do they have good resource protection. The choices you're going to have are between a farmer and a trader. Now, obviously, you can change class, I believe, at castle level 6, 10, and 13, and 16, and 19, and 22, I believe. You will get a few chances, so don't so worry. And it will always say down here what next level is your class change at. You can also obviously buy a class change if you want with real life money. I don't suggest that. It does come around quite often, so don't stress too much. Our options are farmer or trader for a farm. Now, just to repeat, a farm is an account that you set up that you then use to generate resources for your main account. So this is an account that you are going to farm or raid and loot on a daily or every second day basis. So you want that account to be holding the maximum amount of resources with the least amount of resource protection. That is effectively the rule for any farm. Max the amount of resources, minimize the amount of resource protection. Now, resource protection comes in 2 ways. It comes through alliance tech. So that can be studied in alliance technology. So you need to make sure that whatever alliance your farm is in, and usually if you're part of a big alliance, there will be a farm alliance purely, excuse me, I'm burping here, purely for farm alliances. You need to make sure that there is no resource protection in that farm alliance. That resource should not be, now I'm hiccuping, this is just great, burping, hiccuping, it's because I'm eating an enchilada as we're talking. This is going to be a series of videos called the enchilada videos. Anyway, the alliance should not be focused on the resource protection. There is another form of resource protection, and that comes through the trader, which we're going to look at in a second. But let's just go through the class benefits here. Now, the farmer itself has the Farmer's Guild, which is a unique building, greatly increases resource production, and bountiful harvest becomes available for massive resource. The higher you upgrade the Farmer's Guild, which is the building that looks like this over here. This is not upgraded on this one because I am currently a raider. The higher you upgrade this, the more amount of resources it will produce, and the more times you can use it per day. Basically, if this is a level 15, you can get 50% of all of your resources per hour produced and then gain it. Yeah, it's very easy. It is a very simple thing. It is very useful at its higher levels. It is not so useful at its lower levels, but it is there and it is great. And it's definitely a benefit in terms of the farmer and how much they produce. The second thing we have here is depot protection. So the farmer has initial depot protection, so it protects a certain amount of resources from plundering. The amount depends on the castle level. So the higher level castle you are, the more your farmer class is going to protect some of your resources, which is a negative for a farm account. Okay, this is a positive because it produces more resources that can be looted. This is a negative because it protects those resources. We also have here high-speed gathering plus 50%. This is definitely a positive in terms of producing amount of resources that can be looted. However, in the later phases of the game, gathering is quite an easy buff to get. It's not too expensive. It either costs a little bit amount of gems or you can buy it through the Alliance store. So while having this is fantastic at the start, the effect of it becomes negated later on in the game because you can get high-speed gathering very easily and you can use it pretty much 24/7 if you require. So positive and then a negative. Considerable collection. When harvesting, troop payload is plus 100%. This is great. So it does mean that even if you're using T1 cavalries, you can go from holding, I think it's, 12? No, 11. Let's actually have a look at that. Pop into here. Train, troops. This guy, it's 15. So effectively, that's going to mean the load is 30 because it's doubling. It's 100%. So that is quite a massive amount, which does mean a great benefit, because your farm should technically just be gathering constantly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So having that is a huge, huge benefit. The negatives are here. When sieging, troop damage is minus 30%. That doesn't really make much of a difference. Troop defense is minus 30%. Troop marching speed is minus 30%. So those three things down there don't really make a difference to our farm. And the two priorities we need our farm to do, which remember is maximizing resource production or gathering, and minimizing resource protection. So that's not too bad. Farmer is a good choice. We're definitely going to have as much resource production as we possibly could have. However, let's have a quick look at the trader. We can see here that the trader gets the market. Now, this is not too bad, because basically you can swap stuff back and forth between your various castles. So imagine you have a network of 6 accounts, say 3 or 4 of them are traders. You might be able to use some of those accounts as feeders to the other accounts. Obviously, you're going to have to get your market building up to quite a high level to make that worthwhile. The same thing as with the Bountiful Harvest building needs to be, or the Farmers Guild needs to be quite high level before it's worthwhile. But that could be an option to have, is that you have a couple of traders who are effectively feeding other farms that are then holding greater amounts of resources. But as I said, only at higher levels. But that's a positive kind of thing in terms of resources. Free market, gold production is plus 50%. Now remember, your class legion is the one that's going to be stealing the gold. Your legion 1, 2, and 3 don't really take any gold at all, especially if you're a raider. So having a high level of gold in your account is always good, especially if you're attacking currently with your class legion. So that is a very good thing, because the farmers don't have much gold, and gold definitely becomes a massive issue later in the game. Logistic planning, troop food consumption is down 30%. Okay, so that basically means this guy can hold a lot more troops than this guy can, and it's going to cost them a lot less. This is a good thing, because consumption, is just reducing the amount of resources you're holding on hand. So this is a positive in his view. Trading house purchase cost is minus 5%. I mean, this is a good thing, I guess. But I mean, the trading house is a kind of good way of gaining a lot of resources. But 5% is not a huge difference. I do believe this goes up by level, though. I don't know. I'll have to double check that, but I don't know. But that's a kind of positive, but not a huge positive. In terms of maximizing the amount of resources. What are the maximum amount of things here is when raided, lose 100% extra resources. So this is a very good thing in terms of having a farm account which we want to raid. As I said, we want to increase the amount of resource production, but we want to minimize the amount of resource protection. This is basically zero resource protection. Unsecured warehouse. So we can attack this one, and we're going to get as much as we possibly want out of it, or as much as we can possibly carry, basically, which is a very, very good thing. Indeed. So this is one of the reasons, and this one here, this one doesn't matter. Wounded healing speed minus 50%, doesn't matter. This is one of the reasons why I believe that traders are possibly a little bit better in terms of which class your farm should be. You can attack and get a lot more stuff, and you also have the possibility of getting a lot more gold because they're producing more gold. That is my view. I believe that a trader is the best class for your farm. I do think that if you're going to run multiple farms, say you've got 6, and 6 is kind of the recommended number, if you want to be really serious about maxing your main account as fast as possible. If you're going to run multiple accounts, I do think it is wise to possibly have a mix at the start. So before you kind of settle on it, do a few farmers, do a few traders, see which one that you feel you're getting more out of, which one is easier for you to manage, and then focus on those kind of ones. I think that's what I'm going to be running with. I think at the moment it's 3 of each. And then after that point, we're kind of getting, once we get to about castle level 12 to 16 with these farms, we're going to see where we feel and what actually fits best for us. But the initial stages, I would suggest trader if you've got 1 or 2 farms. If you've got more than that, I would say a mix between farmers and traders. Let me know down below what you think, whether or not you agree with that in any way, shape, or form. There's lots of discussions to be had on this kind of issue. Is this an issue? This is a very important issue that affects the world. No, on this dynamic within the game, there's lots of kind of discussions that can be had. So in the comments down below, let me know what you think. Let me know why you would suggest no, I think a farmer is better, or yes, I believe a trader is better. And let's have a good discussion on it. Make sure you have a fantastic day. Click that like button, subscribe if you can, eat some cheese as always, and be excellent to each other. Cheers, guys. Bye.